Hello, I'm Captain Andrea,
I'm Commander Matthew.
and welcome to Trek Back Tuesday.
This is the show that explores time and space to seek out new and old Star Trek merchandise from across the galaxy.
And today we have not one, but two of the deliciously devious women from the House of Duras, Lursa and her sister Betor.
And Peggy. The Duras sisters. Work. I went there so you didn't have to.
Lursa, Betor, and Peggy. Yeah, no, it just doesn't work.
That's right, today we're looking at Lursa and Betor from the Star Trek Generations line from Playmates in 1994. So previously we looked at Dr. Soren. This time around we've got the other two bad guys that they've chosen for this film, Lursa
Spoiler
and Betor.
alert. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, well if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching Star Trek Generations toy reviews.
Touche.
Yeah. So you can see on the front of the packages, it's the same as we've seen with the other Star Trek Generations figures so far. And I think it's safe to say we both like this packaging a lot.
Yes, very much so.
Really nice illustrations, everything going on. We've got Kirk and Picard in the front. We've got some crazy Nexus action going on in the back. And we didn't talk about this with the Soren video, but look at the top. It's actually die cut.
Yeah.
And I like that too. Like they did a few other similarly not flat rectangle things in the past. They did like with some of the classic Star Trek figures from I think the later waves have like the actual Star Trek symbol as part of the package. Yeah. But this time around it is actually uniquely shaped for Generations.
It's the shape of the Nexus ribbon.
It is.
Which I kind of like.
Yeah. And we also have a large window display that lets us see the figure and all of the accessories they come with, as well as their Generations mini poster snuck behind them.
On the back of the packaging, you get to see everyone who's in the line. You get to see what kind of accessories they have, which is going to be an interesting talking point. We're definitely going to have some stuff to say about that, I think. And then we get their bios. They're fairly similar, but, adjusted accordingly for each of them. And to help keep the mystery of the movie, they make sure to not include any spoilers.
Which is always very nice.
Yes, it's always appreciated.
There's also one other interesting thing to note about these figures here. I'm bringing out Dr. Soren one more time just to kind of show us here that somebody is missing this time around in the packaging.
Oh! Guess who got pulled off?
Well, not just one character,
yeah,
but two
several.
characters got removed from the back of these packaging, and I don't know why that is, but for some reason this time around, they've removed Dr. Soren, despite him having a figure,
Yep.
and they've removed Admiral Kirk in his spacesuit. Again, also had a figure, but he was cut from the film.
Yeah, so that's an interesting kind of... That's just weird. Yeah, that's not interesting, that's just weird.
That's a weird thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's just straight up weird. I can understand removing Admiral Kirk, but not the main bad guy of the movie.
And to me, it just makes no sense either, because the figure was never pulled either. That Admiral Kirk was released, mass release. So, it's not like he's rare or they're trying to hide him. The fact is, if you see him, you're going to see him. So, weird decision-making right there.
I'm wondering if the size of the packaging is different. No,
it's all identical packaging.
Yeah, so, let me see. Yeah, they just look like they made it bigger.
They just cut it out. They moved Hailing All Collectors. And they nudged it over a little bit. That's the only difference they really did here.
Yeah, well, they adjusted where Worf is. They moved everyone around a little bit.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's still the same. They just cut some characters.
Yeah, that's so weird, because they made conscious choices to move everyone around.
Yeah.
That is so bizarre.
Very weird.
Yes. Now that we've talked about the weird, let's beam these two baddies out. And if you want, let's, put them in a containment field.
Probably a good idea to do so.
Yeah, they're pretty devious.
Yeah.
Okay, get to it.
Hi, Captain. Duras sisters are on the deck, Captain.
On the left, we have Lursa. On the right, we have Betor. And what's really cool about them, just from the get-go, is you can see a difference in their faces.
Yeah, the faces are different, and their outfits are different also, which is the easiest way to tell them apart.
Since we're talking outfits, I was going to hold off on this one, but there is actually a really easy way to tell them apart. It's a little,
Pray tell, Captain, what may that be?
It's a little questionable, and yes, I'm doing this deliberately. It's a little questionable, but let's be honest, anyone who watched the show know the Klingon women, they had for all intents and purposes, the boob window. Believe it or not, and you know what, I gotta give Playmates credit for this, they gave them two separate chests. Lursa's is a little bit more voluptuous, and together, and Betor is a little smaller, and separated. That is actually a really easy way to tell them apart as well.
I mean, I have to add also, since we're on that subject, they've sculpted like two perfect orbs on their chest.
They did for Betor, not for Lursa. Lursa's actually looking a little different.
Looking a little bit more realistic?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a little bit more voluptuous.
Okay, yeah. Otherwise, though, there's really no hiding it at all with these toys. Like, these are, I don't know how these got even made, considering the era, too.
Well, considering the era, I'm not surprised. It was the 90s. you could get away with more in the 90s.
I guess McFarlane Toys was starting to push things a little bit, but these are Star Trek toys. I wouldn't expect to see some boobular tubularness happening in Star Trek toys, but here we are.
So let's go back to likenesses. Lursa, played by Barbara March. Bator by Gwyneth Walsh. Do you feel that they look like them?
I think that it's close. Maybe not the best head sculpts. They're definitely Klingon women, so that much is definite and evident.
I feel like they captured the Lursa expression on this face,
Yeah.
but they didn't quite get her face. I feel like they got the expressions and the vibe, but maybe not the likeness.
I can honestly just repaint this one and call it Grilka from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
It's a little interchangeable.
I'll agree with you on Bator, yeah. But I will say I do love that they included, as much detail as they did.
Yeah, I mean, even though the head sculpts might not really perfectly capture the actresses, the sculpting is really good on it.
Yeah, I mean, the noses have ridges. Bator's is a little more obvious and a little clunkier in how it was painted than Lursa, but it still looks really good.
And on that topic, too, of just overall sculpting, I think these are otherwise actually really good. Like,
Yeah.
again, the fact that I'm saying that they're interchangeable Klingon women, kind of a positive, because you've almost got army builders here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they are very nicely put together otherwise. I mean, look at all the great texture on the outfit, on, of course, the shoulder pads and
I feel
sleeves.
like Lursa's the one that I wouldn't try to army build. Bator, yes, but not with Lursa. Lursa feels like her own distinct character.
Bator definitely feels like warrior princess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely feels more interchangeable.
I guess this would be like your ceremonial Klingon, and this is your battle Klingon.
Possibly, or this is your Klingon queen.
Yeah, I suppose so. But on the plus side, I mean, that does kind of mean, despite the fact that their likenesses might not be super great, it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because, well, you've now got the ability to use your imagination and make them whoever you want. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's all going to be a lot of fun. As we were talking, the outfits are both very different, and so you can distinguish, which is great.
Yes, I was very happy about that, because when I first saw them, I was like, uh-oh, who's who? But luckily, they have taken the work away from us a little bit. Made their sleeves different, made their outfits different.
The skirts are
Yeah.
different. There are different patterns.
Lursa's skirt is longer.
Hers is, again, a little bit, Bator's is a little more battle ready.
Yeah, so again, royal and stabby.
Yeah, there are different colors, and I just gotta say, I love the texture on this.
Yeah, I think, like, besides the heads, really, everything else is actually pretty nice about these in terms of the look of the figures.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I show people by touching it, but that's just gonna look filthy and get us demonetized.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But I'm going to have to do some touching now, I think, because we have to talk articulation.
Yes.
And I guess I'm not going to need to touch too much because there's, like, practically none.
Yeah, there's a little.
I'm trying to move her head. That's it.
Let's see, can you do... Oh, nope.
Well, I
Oh,
think-
oh! Little head movement.
Waist does move on...
What,
Well,
what are you talking about? Ah, I have a new spine!
well, her waist moves, like, once... There we go. It was really stiff. Her arms can go up and down. That's not terrible. And that's the end of it.
Hold on.
Well, her feet do move. Her
Yeah,
feet actually... She can...
Look, she's turned out.
There you go. Yeah, they can both turn out. So articulation is
Is-
pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, this is awful. And it's worse is that you can see that it's just there aren't even legs in there.
No. But it makes sense considering what they're wearing. This is how the articulation is going to be. And, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure Guinan is going to be the exact same way with this figure line also.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Before we talk about accessories, we do have one other item we get here, and that is a Star Trek Generations poster. It's very tiny. There it is.
It's really cute.
Yeah, it's small. It's small. That's
It
really
covers your face.
It does. It's nice. It's cute. I'd hang this on my wall.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. It's the packaging in
Free poster is never a bad thing.
poster. Yeah, it's basically the packaging in poster form.
Yeah, it's just, a little small.
Yeah.
But it is a preview of the toy, so whatever.
Exactly. So let's move on to accessories. What the deuce?
Yeah.
What the deuce? Why is this a Starfleet? Why is their base a Starfleet insignia? Why is it not Klingon?
Yeah, talk about lazy. We said this when we looked at that Dr. Soren figure as well. Mm-hmm. By the way, you should add that these are still limited editions, too. Look at that. My figure is 84,000.
Mine is, oh god, 85,000.
Wow, only 85,000 of these in the world?
Well, this is close to the 86, so yeah.
And you wonder why these are worthless today.
Yeah, right?
I still love them, but value-wise, not a great investment.
But yeah, no, I am very bitter about this because we have seen different insignias in different Playmate stuff, so this is just the height of lazy. Next, they both have Klingon disruptors. Woohoo!
Well, I want to see if it at least fits in her hand, which I think it should.
It does.
Yeah, it does. That looks good, actually. I like how that looks with them. Yeah, it looks good.
not the greatest.
Well, maybe not in yours.
No, actually, this one isn't too bad.
Yeah, no, it looks fine. Yeah,
Yeah, that one's okay. But now we get to where we finally start to differentiate. So, Lursa comes with an isolinear chip. That's an isolinear chip.
This is an isolinear chip?
That's an isolinear chip.
That looks like it's not. This looks like a pad to me, and I'm pretty sure it's a pad.
Let me see. Nope. I think, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, again, another
fail. Lazy fail.
I mean, I wasn't even going to necessarily say a fail, but more like just another thing that the packaging got wrong. Because, again, like, we're missing Soren, we're missing...
Yeah.
I don't understand
This looks like a Klingon pad, though. Like, you can see a difference in the writing on it.
And it fits.
Yeah, it fits, which is great.
It's definitely not an isolinear chip, though.
No, it is definitely not. She comes with a ceremonial Klingon sword.
Swing.
Which is pretty nice.
I don't know why I said swing, but I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, go for it.
And, it's in her hand.
Oh, yeah, she's holding it really well.
Just like she had in the movie.
I don't remember the giant sword fight in the movie, though.
It was there. You just weren't paying attention. It was like that scene where Admiral Kirk jumped out of the spaceship and... that scene.
Yeah, that scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And finally, a ceremonial batleth.
Which is nice. Never hurts to have a batleth.
No, it's always good to have more of those.
I will say, so far, it is good that she's able to hold all of her accessories.
Yeah, so that part's good. Moving on to Bator. Her different thing is she comes with the Klingon combat sword. You know, I mean, it looks good. It's nothing to write home about, but it looks good.
Let's see if it fits in her hand. There you go. That looks good, too. Yeah.
She comes with the Klingon knife, the Datach.
Jeez, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, that one looks good. I like the detail on this.
Mostly in her hand, too. Jeez,
Yeah.
I did not want to see her in the dark.
Oh, it's about to get better. This is my favorite accessory of them all. It's the ceremonial war club. Look how big it is. Look how it looks like it has a beak. I don't understand it. You go put it in her hand and see what happens.
Well, we actually saw this when we reviewed Worf for the first series, and it actually turns out this was a real thing from the show that we completely forgot about. It actually was seen on camera.
But look at how she holds it.
I'll give them credit. They were clearly just trying to give us more accessories. So, you know what? The fact that they did that, I'm okay with it.
Oh, wow, you got to stand better. You got to, sit in her hand better. Because that thing was flopping all over when I was playing with it earlier.
I kind of like that they gave us a lot of accessories this time around, that they're pretty decent, and that they can hold all of them.
Yes, I'll agree with that. I like the accessories. It's just, I don't know. Like, they're cool. I like them. But for some reason, I'm just not feeling it.
Well, I think part of it is something that we didn't talk about yet with these figures, and that was back in articulation, is how these figures don't have much. And it's also because they have less than the normal figures had. Because you guys can see here, there's no elbow joints on them at all. Now, granted, they're wearing the skirts, so they're not going to have any leg movement at all. No. But a normal figure would have still had an elbow joint and a bicep swivel. Neither of these two have that.
Yeah.
And I think having that meant they would have been able to hold their weapons more convincingly and do something with them.
Yeah. This all just feels very lackluster, which is really disappointing because I like the figures. I like the accessories. I don't like how lazy it all feels.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but that's pretty much the problem with these figures. Is that, nice for display, though, which is surprising.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I really do like the work on the outfits. Head sculpts are fine. It's passable. There's a lot of good, but there's also just a lot of bad. So it kind of puts them in the middle road, unfortunately, but still probably on the higher end for Generations.
I guess, but I will say this. If they were going to go all out on the outfits and, give us all this kind of detail, I know how Playmates is to be in general with their accessories, but if they were going to, do this, go all out, then you know what? I think they should have gone further out with the accessories and given us, a little bit of extra color, just something extra. Like make it two-tone or something. It just didn't appear as though they were just going, let's figure something out, we'll throw something in the box.
That's kind of what they were doing. I mean, that's why we got Starfleet bases and not Klingon bases.
Yeah, that I'm just, that's unforgivable. I can forgive almost everything else. That's not. Mm-mm.
So overall, I actually still would recommend these because they are good to build up your Klingons.
Yes.
Have your Klingon Empire grow, and you need the ladies for that. And then they do look good. They serve a good purpose as far as figures go. So find them cheap, get them.
That's the name of the game. If you can find them cheap, get them.
Yeah.
And with that, I am Captain Andrea.
And I'm Commander Matthew, and until next time, live long and buy toys.